Hi guys, today I'm working on whipping up some freezer meals. I want to show you quickly how to put together the chicken lime cilantro fajitas. It's one of my family's favorites. So I just take a bunch, literal bunch of cilantro. I chopped it real quick like that. I cut a big onion. I cut half of a large onion. So I threw the half of the large onion in there. I'm throwing in one whole bunch of chopped cilantro. Okay. It calls for juice of 1 lime. My kids love the lime, so what I do is I keep some limes in the fridge. They'll last a month or more. But I'm gonna cut 1 lime into small pieces, like 4 pieces. And I'm gonna squeeze it in there and then just dump the lime in there. I don't see any seeds or anything to worry about. It'll give it a great flavor when it's slow cooking. Then you can just pull these out. I'm gonna add more lime than 1 lime. I'm just gonna use some lime juice. But on a day of cooking, you're gonna wanna serve this with a couple of fresh lime segments. That's kind of hard to squeeze. Okay. So in goes that. Whew. So I do a couple of these at a time so that I'm making 1 cutting board for multiple meals, 1 wash up, 1 clean up. So I've got my other one. All I have to do is the lime on that one. I already cut that up. And the lime zest is really strong and that gives a really good flavor. So I do recommend that you have a real fresh lime on the day of serving. I just ordered from Instacart my groceries and I got 4 limes for 2 meals. So 1 lime is gonna go in each bag and then I'll save the other 2 limes for the day that we serve it. These can store in the freezer for months. Okay, so now the next thing we do is we put in several other little quick ingredients. I did the chopping already, so now the rest is pretty fast, but you do need a couple canned items. You can use frozen corn or canned corn. I have a little leftover frozen corn that I've been hanging on to in the freezer, so I'm just gonna put a little bit in each one. The recipe calls for frozen corn, like a bag of frozen corn each. But I have no bags of frozen corn. I usually get canned corn on sale. So you're gonna drain your cans. You're gonna also use a can of black beans in each bag, drained. And then you're going to add 2 or 3 large chicken breasts, raw, to each bag. And a big tablespoon of minced garlic, which I use already pre-minced. It just saves me a lot of time. So what I'm doing right now is just draining my corn. I'm gonna put a full can in each one. I'm gonna try to go fast because I don't know how long my video will last. I'll try to do this real fast. Okay, and then the same thing with the black beans. So I'm not gonna do that on camera so you guys get the idea. You're gonna drain your black beans and put 1 can in each thing. Then you're gonna add your spices and your chicken. So I'm gonna just estimate that 1 full lime, if I could get a really good amount of lime juice, would be a big squirt of lime juice. So I'm just gonna put in a big squirt in each because I really did put a whole lime in there, so I'm not too worried. But the kids love the lime flavor, and once we didn't have lime and we tried lemon and it just wasn't the same. So I'm gonna recommend you really stick with the lime. Okay, the only spices we have in this recipe are salt, pepper, and cumin. Okay, so in each bag, I'm putting in a heaping teaspoon of cumin. And after you make this recipe, you can always add more if you want more spice to it, but this is the recipe that I use. 1 heaping teaspoon of cumin in each bag. And the amount of salt is, it doesn't say, so I'm just gonna do the same thing, a heaping teaspoon of salt in each bag. And then the pepper, that is never, you never do the same amount of salt and pepper. So I'm gonna do like a quarter, I'm just gonna tap in about maybe a quarter of pepper. Quarter teaspoon of pepper is my estimate. This is a Mexican flavored dish. It's gonna have a cumin spice to it. Okay, and then you do your chicken. So you don't cut your chicken, you just set it in there. So I've got my fresh chicken breast from my Instacart delivery. I've got a big old pack of them right here. I'm gonna just cut one apart, cut one out of the multi-pack, and see if I can get these thrown together real quick. Okay, so this looks like, I haven't ordered Costco chicken breasts in a very long time. This looks like it comes with, let's see what's in here. 2 large chicken breasts. So that's what I'm gonna put in there. If you have a really big family, you might wanna do 3, but this makes a ton because you're shredding this when it's done. You're shredding the chicken and you're filling tortillas with it. So it makes a lot. The recipe calls for 2 or 3 chicken breasts. And I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 because we always have a lot of leftovers when we do 3. And you can decide what you wanna do. But I'm gonna put 2 large chicken breasts inside each bag, just like that. So I've got sorry about that. Not that you want to look stare at this, but okay. So inside, all we're missing now are the black beans. I'm gonna do that off camera because we're running out of time. But you're gonna drain your black beans and throw black beans in each bag. Then you're gonna kind of mix it up like this to make sure your spices, lime juice, everything gets kind of covered up. And then you'll press out the air. I want to note that before we started this, I had everything labeled because once I've touched this, it's getting wet, there's cold ingredients, and it's hard to write on a bag when it's cold and wet. So definitely label your bags before. But I'm pressing out everything, and then I'm sealing it. Okay? And then you're going to go ahead and roll it in a way that makes a nice tidy package so that you can fit multiple ones in your freezer nice and flat. Some people make things really, really flat in their freezers, like a very thin disc, so that they can freeze it. Once it's solid, you can stack a bunch of layers in your freezer. Okay, so that is my chicken lime fajita tip. I'll be making another one in a few minutes for my garlic ranch chicken that the kids love. But what you do with this is you take it out of your freezer, put it in your crock pot on low all day, maybe 6 to 8 hours. You can keep an eye on the chicken. When it's very soft and tender, you just break it up with a fork in your crock pot. You take 2 forks and you pry it apart, and then you stir it all back together and make sure it looks good. What you do with that is you serve it in a bowl on the table, and you get warm flour tortillas, and you just take scoops of it and you eat it like a soft taco. We call this chicken lime fajitas. That's what my family calls them, but it has lots of cilantro, chicken, lime, corn, and the black beans are missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my black beans. I hope that this blesses your family. What I do with chicken meals is I usually make a bunch of different ones all on the same day so that I have one cutting board. So I'm not gonna clean up yet. I'm gonna go ahead and make my next recipe after this one, make my next recipe, and then I'll have one kitchen cleanup with maybe 8 dinners. I hope that helps you, blesses you. Have a great day. God bless you.